Okay, our first question tonight is for the panel. So we'll start with whoever has the microphone, I guess. What do you enjoy most about your job?
I guess I'm the local. My favorite part of my job is doing this. Born and raised in the Valley, I wanted to serve the Valley. And that's something I do enjoy. I go throughout the entire Valley, plus Teton County, and it's fun to see the locals that, even here tonight, that have inspired me to become a better person. So that's what I enjoy.
Good evening. Major Jim Thomas here. I started my career here in Wyoming in 2001. I'm originally from Indiana, so transplanting to the state of Wyoming, I came and started my career in Jackson. Just the beautiful countryside and being able to travel throughout the state, meet all kinds of people and have such an impact on our communities is what I find any enjoyment with. Just having that direct contact with people and seeing kind of what I can contribute to society in the betterment of our communities. I think that's the interaction just with the people is what I enjoy most.
Hello, I'm Mike Simmons. I'm the commander of District 1, Southeast Wyoming. And I would have to say that interacting with people was my favorite part of the job as well. A little bit about me. I grew up as an Air Force brat, so I lived all over the world. I was born in Germany, lived there twice, lived in Korea, and we finally settled down here in Wyoming. And joined the Highway Patrol, and then I'm also in the Wyoming National Guard. So I have a soft spot in my heart for veterans. And some of the best memories I have are interacting with the veterans of our great nation when they need help the most. And typically, when they see us, they're not having a good day. But I enjoy helping them out and making their day much better. And it's a benefit to me because I get to break through their hard, crusty veteran shell and let them know, hey, I served as well. You know, I've gone on deployment to the Middle East and not usually nothing what they have done in the past. But one of my fondest memories in my career is getting dispatched when I was a trooper in Cheyenne to go find this minivan that was broken down. The Nebraska troopers tried to find it. They went all the way to the Wyoming border. And so I was a trooper in Cheyenne. They dispatched me east to go find him. I found him about 10 miles from Nebraska. And I show up, and it's a minivan, and the minivan is rocking. And I'm sitting there pulling up in my patrol car. I don't know what I'm about to roll up into, but I gotta go see if it's this guy that I was, sent to go help. And it was this so old guy with a flip phone yelling like it's going out of style at AAA. And I knock on the door, and he starts giving me a what for. But I calm him down. I was like, please don't have a heart attack or stroke. I don't want to do the paperwork. I just want to help you out, get on with my day. And I found out that this gentleman was a retired one-star general. He was a bomber pilot during World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And not only that, that's super impressive in and of itself, but he was also a prisoner of war during World War II and Vietnam. And I was just absolutely incredible that I got to spend time with that individual and hear that story. I'm sure he's not around anymore, but I got to personally hear his story of what it was like to serve in a different era of in our country's history. So to me, and I got more stories like that, and I'm good at telling them. I'm going to cut myself off right there and let somebody else speak.
Thank you. Tim Cameron, I'm the new patrol colonel. I'm the least tenured of anybody on this stage. I've been with Highway Patrol since January 3rd of this year. I got here just in time for winter and legislature. So I appreciate it both very much, and I don't say that tongue-in-cheek. I came from a state right nearby, Maryland, in the Eastern Seaboard. So a radical departure for me. And what I get to do is wear my passion to work every day. I love public service. absolutely love it. And I decided after being a 4-term sheriff in Maryland that I wanted a new adventure and a new challenge. And I wasn't sure where I was going to go, but I knew it when I saw it. And what I saw in the Highway Patrol was an agency dedicated to the people of Wyoming, hence the name Guardians of the Cowboy State. The other thing is there is an absolute sanctity, an appreciation for sanctity of life and public service, and law enforcement in Wyoming, different uniforms, same team. So bottom line is I love, it's not really going to work, it's you're doing what you love. And so this will be my last post, but I look forward to spending a lot of time here in Wyoming learning the state. And the last thing I'll say is this experience here in Afton today was incredible, just incredible. There's a vibrancy in the people of Wyoming, but especially here. So congratulations to you. Thank you.
Thank you. And just if we could have you guys, when you're speaking, hold the mic right up in front of your mouth and talk right into that so we can hear it clear in the back. That'd be great. Thank you. Trooper Merritt, see, that's what I'm talking about. That was great. All right, Trooper Merritt, this question's for you. What challenges do you face in the Highway Patrol that you did not expect when you started?
So I left oil. Sorry. How about now?
Perfect.
Okay. I left the oil field. I was living in Casper. We lived there for 7 years. And I had an experience up here. My father-in-law passed away. One of our old troopers actually came to the house and said, "Hey, I just had a feeling you need to come be a trooper in Wyoming." So I packed my family across the state, got into the uniform. The thing that I never realized is how much emotional toll pulls on your body. Physically and emotionally, this job will drain you, and you have a couple days to get back, but it honestly is the most rewarding job I've ever had in my life. So that's my answer.
Thank you. Colonel Cameron, this question is for you. What do you feel needs to happen to encourage more people to go into law enforcement as a career?
So, based on my experience on the Eastern Seaboard, this is the last bastion of where you can be a peace officer, make a difference in your community every day, and be respected and supported. And I think that is why right now we're making some inroads in recruiting, unlike some other places, other states. The problem in law enforcement is how we're framed on the nightly news. And of course, what you see on the nightly news is not public service or peace officers putting themselves in harm's way, but less than 1% of our profession in their misconduct. So we're very fortunate here in Wyoming. So I get calls frequently from colleagues around the country complaining about our marketing campaigns. So yeah, we're coming to a neighborhood near you, that's what I tell them. And also I'll say, you'll look good in our green.
Excellent. Major Thomas, this question is for you. How well do you feel the Wyoming Highway Patrol works with local law enforcement, such as the county sheriff's offices and municipal police departments?
Thank you, Duke. That is a tenet that we strive to uphold with all of our troopers, is that the message that we send to our troopers is that we're all one team, and it's imperative that we all work together. We may have different jurisdictions, different uniforms, those kind of things, but there's so few of us out there that we can't be successful in our mission unless we rely upon each other. So I know all my troopers, they know that they have the freedom to go where they need to go and do what they need to do, assist whatever agency with whatever's needed, and vice versa. We get that same reciprocal assistance from our local partners and our county sheriffs in helping us out. It's an enormous state, and with some of our areas we have some fairly significant vacancies that we're trying to get those filled, and we couldn't do it without them, and I know that they appreciate our assistance as well.
Thank you. Colonel Cameron, back to you for this question. What is the Wyoming Highway Patrol currently doing to create or improve positive relations with the community members you serve?
Yeah, great question. Thanks just like this. Faith and Blue, that is designed to put us in communication contact with the members of the community. So we cannot be successful without relationships in our communities. It's impossible. So that's what we try to do. Community outreach and more than enforcement, education. We strive that. Our troopers are involved in education all the time. So we would much rather educate somebody than write them a citation. But we'll make an exception, Duke.
I know. Captain Simmons, this next question is for you. What do you wish the average Wyoming resident knew or understood about the Highway Patrol that isn't widely known?
That's a great question, and I was going through I was going through many of the possible answers in my head. You know, and before I joined the Highway Patrol, I didn't even know what the Highway Patrol did, and I was like, but I've thought that that was a great opportunity to go help people, and boy, it has been. But some of the things that I think some people don't know, and I love doing this when I teach driver's education courses in Laramie, is by a show of hands, because high school students don't really like to talk to cops. So I do it by a show of hands. How many people think that I could pull somebody over on Grand Avenue, Laramie, Wyoming, and I get an assortment of, you know, hands raised and cutting this thing, I don't know, maybe it sounds good, my friends are doing it, maybe. And so we have jurisdiction in the whole state of Wyoming and to enforce all the laws in the state of Wyoming. And some of the lesser known things that people really don't know about, and I'm glad we have a game and fish guy here because they helped me out, but I caught 2 poachers in my career and I had no idea what I was doing or how to go about investigating it. But we got our brothers in the red shirts that's their bread and butter, and they helped me out through that investigation through successful prosecution. And it's just, you know, we could do that. We could, or go to state parks and check fishing licenses and talk with people. And I love seeing people's jaws drop when I go to a state park. And where I live in Southeast Wyoming is Kirk Gowdy State Park. And I go and talk with people and see how they're doing, see if they're having a successful day out on the lake. And to justify my time there, I say, hey, do you have your fishing license? And their jaw drops. Oh, what do you mean? I'm like, let me see your fishing license. Well, I don't have one. Get out of here. What are you doing? You know better than this, you know? So those are the things that I think a lot of people don't know that state troopers can do and often do throughout the whole state of Wyoming.
Thank you. That mic looks good in your hands, Captain Simmons. Next question for you again here.
Let's keep it going.
All right. In what ways does the state of Wyoming support the family members of Highway Patrol employees, and what could be done more?
So we're one of the things that our agency does, and I think we're very progressive in this manner, is our employee assistance program. It's leaps and bounds of everything that I have seen across the state, especially from other state agencies. We really care about our employees, and our employees do happen to see rough things throughout their careers that people shouldn't have to see. But we are exposed to those things. So we offer counselors free of charge to our members and their families to go seek help and get help from anywhere across the state. If there's a trooper here in Afton that needs to go see a counselor, but they want to go see one in Green River, Rock Springs, that's okay. They can go do that. I think our agency is very progressive in that manner and very accepting. We're trying to change the culture of, oh, you'll be all right, just toughen up and don't think about it, because that's not the right answer. And studies have shown that that is the wrong answer. We're also have instituted the Family Support Network to try to look after the families, because after all, we're not the only ones out there. Our families are the ones that are our backup. They're the ones who are going to be there when we finally hang up the car or the hat, and go 1042 on the radio, which means out of service for our last time. They're going to be the ones there when we finally get out of this career field. And we're trying to train new troopers through our academy, this is the things that you are going to experience. And the families, this is the things that your troopers are going to experience. And these are good coping mechanisms on how to overcome these adversities that you're going to see throughout your careers.
Great, thank you. Trooper Merritt, you're on the clock. All right, this next question, what is the area you cover and how large is it?
So I cover from the top of Togety, which is the Fremont County line, out to the Idaho border to the south. I don't know the exact number. I think it's 200-ish something miles. I also cover from the Idaho border over to Sublette County. And then if I go across the state for some reason, I'm covering the whole state as well. We never, like these guys said, we never go out of our jurisdiction. We're always in our area. I was up Grays River last week, had to go up and find a family member. So kind of throws people off when there's a trooper car, Charger going up Grays River Road, but we can go up there as well.
Excellent. Let's see, Colonel Cameron, next question for you. This question given is, what is with the fleet colors of the vehicles, and can they all go green?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. True. We had 90th anniversary celebrations all around the state of Wyoming, did 5 of them. And we had one in Cheyenne, which was really well attended by our retirees, including 4 previous colonels. And they were all standing around this light battleship gray Charger. And all of them, they were synchronized and shaking their head no. And then they turned and looked at me, here's the new colonel. And so one of them said, are you responsible for this? I said, no, Colonel, I am not. I said, that was previous to me. And I said, I just gave YDOT our new color for our next fleet. I gave them 3 colors. And they all looked at each other, jaws set. Well, what 3 colors? I said, black, black, and black. And they all smiled and said, outstanding. So it was, in fact, just an attempt to raise morale amongst our troops. So if you were due to get a new car, you could select your color, like a mood ring, so to speak. So you'll see the light gray, which has grown on me a little bit, the green car, our black, which goes with anything. It's formal, can be casual. And you see a variety of vehicles now, not just Chargers, but Durangos, Tahoes, now pickup trucks. But our brand, which I'm very concerned with, is black. And so, as a retiring member of the patrol told me, Wyoming troopers wear hats, they are clean shaven, and they drive black cars. So the cars you see now, once they're replaced, they'll be replaced with black vehicles. And somebody said, well, that's unfair because people can't see you from a distance. Wyoming residents can pick us out 50 miles away. And please don't take this personally if you're from Colorado, but people from Colorado have a tougher time. They usually spot us as they're going by us.
Excellent, thank you. This next question is for all panel members. This is probably the toughest question of the night so far. And I'm going to read this as it's written to me, all right? Do members of the Wyoming Highway Patrol like donuts like regular police officers? What is your favorite? And I'm going to add this part on the end. How many have you eaten in a single shift? That's for all 4 panel members. Go ahead.
I know, Andy, what are you going to do? I personally, I like donuts. I just don't really eat them because it's stereotypical. And I just don't want to end up on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. So, I try to make more healthy choices. Usually some kind of protein bar. And, whenever I go in the Maverick or whatever it is, people watch you. Right? And I'm standing in front of the protein bars, but I really want a breakfast burrito. So, yeah, I'm a negative on the donut. Now, cookies, yeah, today was a tough day with all the cookies.
I love donuts. I will not eat it in this uniform, though. In the Air National Guard, and when I wear that uniform, I'll go eat donuts. And when I'm amongst my peers, sometimes I'll eat them, but they're jerks, and they'll take pictures for blackmailing me later, which is fine. And but my favorite donut, I found this. It's not an apple. It's a blueberry fritter that I found at Ridley's in Laramie. Oh my goodness, that thing is to die for.
I'm not sure I can top that, Mike. I think a good Bavarian cream donut would go a long way. But I do subscribe to the same philosophy of not partaking in the consumption of donuts while in uniform. There's a negative connotation to that. And when I set out on this career 27 years ago, my goal was to be able to wear the same uniform that I was issued when I started. And so my donut cravings would not be conducive to fulfilling that goal. So thus far, still successful there.
I love maple bars. And I don't use the same uniform. It's muscles that's pushing it out. But I have been known to throw back a dozen Krispy Kremes. I was sick, but I still finished my shift.
Fantastic. All right, Captain Simmons, next question is for you. This question does not specify on or off the job. What's the fastest speed you have ever gone?
Fastest speed I have ever gone is 157 miles per hour, and my field trainer's, I think he had a 2008 Dodge Charger. It was rear-wheel drive, and it was a lot of fun. Back then, the policy was no new trooper shall drive a Charger. I broke my car. I broke my car a lot. It was a Ford, and it broke a lot. And so it was in the shop all the time. So my field trainer is like, "You're driving, get my car, we got work to do." I'm like, "All right, 10-4, let's go." And I think I had 2 or 3 shifts driving his car, his Charger, which is significantly more powerful than the Crown Vic. And I had a lot of fun until my lieutenant at the time found out what was going on, and he made me ride in the passenger seat. So 157 miles per hour is the fastest I've personally driven.
Thank you. Major Thomas, this next question for you. This question says, what's the worst emergency you've ever responded to? And then I might add on to this, how have you found it, how have you been able to cope with responding to those types of incidents?
Those are great questions. And, I can think of a lot of critical incidents where they've had significant impacts on me personally. And anytime that we get involved in an incident where we have the death of a child, at the time that I responded to this particular incident outside of Evanston, I just had my first daughter. And when I arrived on scene there and was trying to investigate this incident, if you can imagine just the significance of a crash like this with debris everywhere, is I initially missed the body of this dead child, and she was thrown from this vehicle, and just when I turned around and recognized what I'd missed, it just hit me fairly significant, because I had my own daughter, and it was about the same age of this child, and that was something that really struck me and took me a while to get over. Like most law enforcement, when you encounter something like that, I kept it to myself. I just internalized it and didn't really want to talk about it, and never sought any kind of counseling or anything like that to try to deal with it. And as I got a little bit older and some of that culture's changed within this organization, I eventually just decided to go and have those sessions and really just kind of talk about different incidents, and that's kind of helped me, kind of push past some of that and be able to one, just, I guess, categorize it in my head and understand it, and be able just to accept those things and move on, and just kind of deal with those a little bit easier with that assistance.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Time for just a couple more questions tonight
Hey,
for
dude.
this panel. Yes.
Hey, I'd just like to make
Absolutely.
an observation, right? So we went from donuts to a really heavy question. But it was interesting as you posed that question to scan the room and look at everybody here in public safety, all our law enforcement colleagues, everybody's body language changed. If you're in policing, you have seen some horrible things, and we all deal with it differently, but I scanned the room, so if you're deeply undercover, you reacted. And that's one of the unfortunate circumstances of our profession. We all deal with it differently, and now all of our agencies are dealing with the aftermath and teaching our people it's okay not to be okay.
Thank you. Time for just a couple more questions. This one is for all panel members. What are good reasons why you have given people a warning instead of a ticket? And we are all ears.
Well, I can say it was never because I had to go to the bathroom. I've heard that excuse a lot. You know, dealing with an individual, and you can, you know, we can read people pretty well when you're having that conversation on the roadside, and just being able to understand and put yourself in their position and just taking time to listen. Oftentimes you'll be doorside with somebody, you'll have that conversation, and you allow them that opportunity to just kind of share with you their day or maybe what's bothering them, and take that into consideration. Anytime that you get somebody that is really just their world is collapsing, you know, they're struggling for one reason or another, you try to take and have a little bit of compassion for those individuals and kind of understand what they're doing. There's always those ones where you got a hard line, and there's really no excuse that you're going to be able to throw out there to avoid that citation. But that's kind of what we do. It just really just depends on the situation, but it's just taking that time to listen to them.
There's two instances that come to mind where I give people warnings. One is when they tell me the truth. I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting everybody to lie to me all the time, all day, every day. And so when I finally get somebody who's like, yep, you're right, absolutely right. I was speeding, I was being a bonehead, I wasn't paying attention. I am sorry. And I'm like, I don't know what to do now. But the other case, like Major Thomas said, was when somebody's having a really rough day, and you could actually tell from their body language, their actual physiological state. One that comes to mind, I stopped this woman for going pretty high speed on I-25 when I was a trooper in Cheyenne, and she was extremely distraught. You know, you could see the trails of tears that have gone and dried on her cheek, and she had no more tears to cry. She cried all her tears, and what she was trying to do was go from Rapid City, South Dakota to where her daddy was dying in Denver, and trying to make it to Denver before he died. And the hospital in Denver was trying their best to keep him alive for her so she could say her final goodbyes. And in that instance, I was like, you got other things to worry about. Please be safe. And by the way, there's other troopers on this road. So please, they might not be as forgiving as me, but I gave her a warning. I warned her there are other troopers. So please, until you get to Colorado, slow down.
I don't write warnings. No, I actually thought of I think it was 4 years ago. It was prom night. I was on night shifts, weekends, and this kid, for some odd reason, was flying through the Narrows. So upwards of about 30 over the speed limit. So I pull him over, I go up, and he's in a khaki suit, and he had piddled himself like a happy dog. Needless to say, I didn't write a ticket. I think his behavior was changed. And that's what I base a lot of what my stops are. In an academy, they kind of tell us you should have your mind made up when you go up. I go up and I make my mind up as I'm at that car. There's certain people, like these guys said, some people are going through emotional damage, for lack of a better word. I don't think me throwing a $300 ticket on top of that's going to help in any way. I go out and I enforce daily to change behaviors of how people behave. Our valley, we all know, have had a really rough summer for terrible crashes. And a lot of that I take personal because obviously I'm not out there enforcing hard enough to get people to slow down, because a lot of our crashes are based on speed and lack of attention. And that's where I feel like I've failed the valley, because I haven't been there to help. I haven't been there to help change the personalities of their driving.
All right, last question. Captain Simmons,
Yes, sir.
do you ever turn your lights on and go fast just because you can?
I don't need my lights to go fast just because I can. But no, typically it is very frowned upon to turn our lights on and go home down the highway for no reason at all. It's generally frowned upon. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Let's give these four a round of applause. Thank you.